Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons, or usually for
That's right.
fucked up reasons or no reasons at all.
Question. Got it.
178 episodes and still just randomly like to trip and fall down the stairs on it. Like a fucking star.
We got to keep people on their toes.
Apparently I'm not on my toes.
See, someone might have just been tuning in for the first time and they're like, oh, she almost had it.
She almost did.
And everybody
right?
else is like saying it with you and they're like, oh.
She tripped.
Fail.
Whatever.
Fail. How you doing? No, I'm kidding.
You know-
I hate when podcasts start like that. So how are you?
No one gives a fuck.
No, don't ask. Like, so how are you? And they're always like, good. Like, shut up.
I always feel like there's a very fine line of how much people actually want to know about us and like care. Because if there's the biggest turnoff whenever you first got me into podcasts, because I never listened to podcasts, and Heather was like, you have to listen to podcasts. And I was like, I do not care about these people. And then you actually do at some point.
Yeah.
But in that journey, there's still thousands of listeners who still don't give a shit about you. And so I just like to keep it at like kind of a low level.
Just a low purr. A little kitten's purr.
Yes.
Just a whisper.
So you know a little bit about us. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you just know we cuss and we're aggressive.
But yes, we're always like, fuck.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is.
I know. I have some, so speaking of keeping this short and sweet, the banter part, I found a story while I was at a stoplight outside.
Today.
Yes.
Outside, it wasn't a stoplight inside?
Yep.
Weird.
I
okay.
walked right into that trap.
You really did. It
I
wasn't
did.
even a trap. You
I
were
know.
just like,
In my-
stupid. I added in an unnecessary word.
I like to be descriptive.
Yes.
No, okay. So there was in Florida, because there's a show called it's The Florida Man. Like, it's
Yes,
Florida
I saw
Man.
that.
It is hilarious. The reenactments, and they have like all these. It's on HBO Max. They have all these like famous people, like Adam Devine's in one of them, and they overact when they're telling the story.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, "What's a Florida story?" So I looked one up. This actually got published yesterday on January 6th. Sorry, 2 days ago. Florida man wearing lingerie allegedly hid gun under prosthetic breasts. So there's that. This
I'm
was
surprised they use the word prosthetic breast.
Oh yeah,
Like a prosthetic to me is actually replacing a limb.
Like a limb, yeah.
That was removed.
Yeah.
So that to me, once more, I feel like is a incorrect use of a word.
Well, that was a New York Post. But yeah, I agree. It's just thrown in words.
No, that's
there.
probably the PC word now. Can't be saying fake titties. Right underneath the fake, what are they, cutlets?
Those chicken cutlets that
Are they
stick.
cutlets that you stick in there? I don't know.
Yeah.
I paid for the real one.
You paid for the. Anyway, okay, so Florida man was arrested after deputies found a gun hidden under his prosthetic silicone breast that he was wearing them while trespassing on a construction site. Matthew Zaccarino, he was 39. He was sitting alone in a vehicle last month as deputies approached him and found him wearing a red lace bra with the prosthetic breast in the bra. The Polk County Sheriff posted a video on social media. Y'all could look that up, but he was like, this is the quote, okay? He said, Then we notice he is wearing a G-string, showing off the boys. You know what I mean?
The cop said that?
Yes, the sheriff of Polk County, Sheriff Judd, said that. And then Judd said
This
quote.
is like, hold on, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This is giving me horrible, like, images in my head.
Oh, yeah, showing off the boys. Okay, I got to paint a picture.
I know. I'm trying to understand how the balls would even fit into it.
Well, maybe it was just like a G-string. And instead of going up your butt, it went up the ball sack. I don't know. Okay, so Judd said the quote.
Hold on, Drew's hands up.
Oh, Drew. Yes, Drew.
Elephant ears.
Drew says that is called elephant ears, and
And that's when the balls.
Will calls it. Will says crab eye. Like if you could see the balls through. He made a joke one day. My husband said, he goes, "Oh, he's got crab eye," and it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, crab
All of
eye
this is
elephant ears.
disgusting.
These poor animals getting compared to balls. Okay, so Sheriff Judd said the quote, highly unusual situation could have taken a turn for the worse as deputies allegedly discovered a gun under the prosthetic. So he's sitting there with fake boobs in a lace bra, apparently showing off his crab elephant or whatever.
I cannot stop but try to understand like how a gun. I want to know the kind of gun.
Right?
My first thought is the type of gun.
Oh yeah.
To be the size and the comfort level to like I'm pretty sure.
Well, we don't have room in our bras, so.
But I know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I still cannot fathom it.
And okay, so he tells the cops when he goes up there, he's like, no, I'm going to a costume party. But then when he stopped talking, they were like, okay, cool, where's your party? Because he was sitting at a construction site. And, and so he got mad at them. Right? In my tits, you want to see? No, but he was the Sheriff Judd said, can you imagine? He's mad at us for trying to find out why he's wearing lace bras with guns and G-strings or G-somethings, Judd said. It was ugly. It was so ugly. And I had to read that because of the sheriff's comments, and that's the end.
Way to go.
That's the end of the...
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome. So I want to see that mugshot. Like, did he have to take the bra off or like...
Anytime that I'm feeling like I'm at a low point...
Watch It's Florida Man.
In my life, I'm going to remember, hey... At least I'm not sitting in a car at a construction site in lace undergarments and guns. It could always be worse.
Right. Oh, that's why I watch My Strange Addiction on TLC. Mm-hmm. And you know I love that trash.
Yes.
Because it could always be worse. At least I don't drink my own pee.
Always.
All right. Well, on that note, you want me to tell you a story?
Yes. I was like, I'm not going to add to this.
I knew.
Because she will start listing all these other horrible addictions that I don't want to think about.
Oh, yeah. I can list them all. Okay. Does the name Kristil Krug...
Yes, I know everything about her. I was trying so hard to keep a straight face for Heather to like freak out.
You don't know me. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make you uncomfortable right before you did your story.
I know.
Good friend. Good friend.
Kristil Krug. Okay, my sources are ABC News, CBS News, an article from BroomfieldEnterprise.com from like a month ago. There was an update from AdamsBroomfieldDA.org, KATU2 ABC News, Oxygen.com. And then I'm going to reference a lot the Dateline episode. It was the premiere episode of season 34. I'm wearing my Keith Morrison shirt.
Dateline's the tits, man.
God, Dateline's literally on my tits right now.
Yes. Dateline can be on my tits too.
So, yeah, you know I love Keith.
Right behind the prosthetics and the guns.
And that one, it aired last year and it was called The Phantom because like, okay, you're going to want to watch the actual episode even though I'm going to tell you everything that happens because the visuals for this make it like I went back and watched it like 9 more times.
Okay, what episode is it? It
is episode 1 of season 34 of Dateline.
I'm texting you it, so ignore
okay.
it. You said season 33?
She's going to watch it right now. It's 34.
You're fucking hell.
Season 34.
Episode 1. Dateline. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is one of the most recent stories that I've done. Like most of the time I like to do like throwback ones, and this one I was like, no, I want to do it because it needs to be told. And there was an update just like 5 days ago. So keep that in mind.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. And you know, we always tell the stories and we say the ways that we suggest, not condone because we're not experts, but like how to make safe choices.
If we have that opportunity.
Right, right. Like if we can say like, we advise you, you know, be alert.
Yes,
be vigilant.
sometimes we don't get to do that. But yes, 100%.
And then like ask for politeness later, be careful, trust your gut, all that stuff.
Yeah.
This sad story today though, she, in my opinion, did everything and then some that she possibly could, and she still sadly lost her life.
Okay, so you're starting this off saying this is going to be the worst thing ever, and then we're all going to need a stiff one after this.
Right.
Drink.
I was like, no, you can't say that to me. Like,
stiff drink.
Or, no, I'm kidding. Okay.
Whatever you need to get through a hard time.
Okay. So her name's Kristil Krug, and I'm going to tell you everything about her because, like I said, she deserves that. And here is a photo of her, and I'm going to let you look at that while there's her picture. So
We both just did that so weird.
I know we did. So she's
pretty lady.
She's so sweet.
Okay. She looks kind.
Mm-hmm. Kristil Krug was born in, and I'm going to say Krug and Krug because it's been pronounced both ways by everybody, even on the show.
Well, which one do you like?
So Krug.
Then go by Krug.
All right, cool, thanks.
This is your story.
Okay.
Our perspective of a story.
And she was born in Boulder, Colorado on November 24th, 1980, so just a few years older than me. Her sister and family described her as always curious, funny, caring, very smart, and she had a huge love of both the arts and science, which is kind of interesting because most of the time it's one or the other, not both. She was extremely talented, and she was even like a performer. She was a dancer, too. So She was a scientist and a modern performing arts dancer. She got an academic scholarship at Colorado School of Mines and then transferred to University of Colorado Boulder, where she got her degree in biochemical engineering.
Cash.
So, smarty pants.
Doesn't sound like she was very smart.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So she was better than me. Got it.
She used it, that degree and went on to become a biochemical engineer. So, again.
One of those are, I'm always the most impressed by that.
Like,
Rock
really?
on.
She could dance and she's smart. Yeah, she's
She
smart.
had rhythm and she could dance and she could do the science.
Do the science. Okay, and that's her early life. And I'm going to bounce around a little bit on you, like running outside without a bra on, but you'll be able to follow along.
Great.
So, December 14th, 2023, Officer John O'Hare was called to the Krug home to do a welfare check. And that, like, hey, go check on them. They want to answer, blah, blah. They showed the body cam footage from the officer, and he was literally just whistling around because that's not odd. Like, he didn't think he was going to find anything bad.
I don't think they ever do. Any
Yeah.
wellness check, they're like, dude, somebody is just ignoring somebody's phone calls.
Yeah.
Or they didn't realize the phone was off the hook.
Right.
Whatever it is.
So, but they were like, yeah, we'll go. And they show him on his body cam. He's like, he literally is whistling. Like,
It's probably like, I shouldn't have whistled that day.
yeah. And then, okay, in Broomfield, Colorado, it's a suburb between Boulder and Denver. So, but the crime rate's below average. So, whatever. There was a dog barking inside, but he looked in the windows and nobody answered the door. So he's like, I'll just check. So he pulls his cruiser around to the garage, and then the windows at the top of the garage, he peeks in there to see if there's a car. When he looks in, he sees the lifeless body in a pool of blood on the garage floor, and it was Kristil Krug.
My goodness.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more background.
Okay.
So in college, Kristil stumbled into love online with a man named Dan Krug, and I'm going to show you a picture of him.
I already accidentally went through your photos.
You went through all of them? Are you fucking kidding me?
I went through just a few. I only got that one.
You did not?
No, I didn't. But let me see.
Oh my God. Okay.
What? I'm your best friend. Get over it. That's not shocking. I usually don't do it, but today I wanted to.
I know. I'm like, don't.
Okay, you didn't say don't.
Okay. Well, that's a picture of Dan Krug. Now, he's not my type, but he just looks like a normal nerd. So
he looks like he looks tall, good haircut.
Yeah.
He has very straight teeth. This would be a very straight teeth family, for sure.
Now, he was a political science major, so he matched her big brain, and she actually really liked that. So they ended up getting married in 2007, and they had 3 children together. Great careers, beautiful home, a dog, lived in the suburbs, seemingly happy. 3 months prior to Kristil being found in September of 2023, Dan had reported to the police that he had seen an intruder running out of an open garage door when he was pulling back into their driveway. He said, he was like, and they show all this body cam footage too. So he was like, I left to run an errand. I thought I closed the door. He said, I can't, his voice, I'm sorry, but I can't stand his voice. He was like, I saw the garage door closed, but I did not see it closed. And that's exactly how he says it. Yeah. Anyway. So the cop's like, okay. And he was like, I saw a man running out. He describes his clothes. He's like, but it was so fast. I didn't know anything was stolen, but apparently they had a spare house key that was in a toolbox in the garage. And when Kristil got home, she's like, well, that's not there. But that was it. Kristil was more pissed and annoyed of anything that
That would be very creepy to me.
Yeah.
Mostly because we have a true crime podcast.
Right.
But if the only thing that was stolen was a key to the house, 100% we are changing all the locks right then and there.
Yeah, and that's what he was like, I'm going to go to Home Depot right when you leave. Like, I'm going to change all the locks or whatever. Christina's like,
And how would they know that?
Huh?
Like, how did firstly, I would have, I would have thought to look there. My husband wouldn't have probably.
Yeah.
To go find it. But someone close to the family, obviously.
Yeah, that's why when Kristil got home, she checked and was like, well, the key's gone. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then she was more annoyed that he didn't make sure it was shut. Like, because it's normal husband and wife crap. Like
he leaves the door open or he leaves it cracked?
Well, she said, he goes, I saw it closing, but I didn't see it close. So he didn't know if it went back up, like something got in the way. So she was just annoyed. She was thinking, well, you just left the fucking door open and now they have her house key and we have to change all the locks. So, yeah. But she wasn't scared. She was just annoyed, but that was yet. So apparently it was kind of common in Broomfield that people, if they don't shut their garage doors, there was a lot of thefts.
Really? Yeah. Motherfuckers.
But not murders. So 1 month later from this, it was Kristil that was calling the police, and she was reporting that she was being stalked and threatened. So 1 month after her house key gets stolen, now all of a sudden she's being stalked and calling them. So I watched her interview, and she was so prepared and well-spoken, obviously, because she's smart as fuck. But she was sitting there like, I feel like I'm paranoid. I'm scared all the time. She got a text from an unknown number on October 22nd, 2023. It says this: "Hi, Kristil. It's Anthony. I hope it's okay. I looked you up. I go to Boulder every few weeks and thought we could hook up. You game?" She didn't answer. She's like,
2023. So this is still at the time of like complete spam. Like where they're like, last night was great. And you're like, what?
Yeah, it's like, I'd like
that
to
dumb shit. Mm-hmm. But like, said a name. That is so creepy.
Yeah.
And the fact that some dude was like, you game.
Yeah, with a U, not even.
Oh my God. Yeah. There is nothing that grinds my gears or burns my biscuits more than people at this day and age not spelling out the word. We are millennials.
That's right.
We did it when we had to hit one button 4 times to get to a fucking T.
Yeah, let's get back to...
Spell it out, man. We have full keyboards.
What do they do with all their time? They travel with all their spare time.
Hopefully they volunteer.
Like, sorry I was early to this meeting.
Soup kitchen.
I use the U instead of the YOU, and I'm just lousy with time now. I'm just bored. Anyway.
Ugh.
Okay, so she didn't answer. Next day, and she got some text, but I'm going to summarize it to you. Basically, it was like, you got fat and you should kill yourself.
So was it the same phone number?
Yes. So it's like, what? Like, it goes from you game and she doesn't answer, and it's like, well, you're fat and you should kill yourself. Like, what? Okay.
That would make me laugh so fucking hard. If somebody texts me that shit, I would giggle.
Right? I'd be like, okay, you're cute. I'm sure you're adorable. So, okay. But then they're like, do you know who it was? And she's telling the cops this, right? And she tells them that, she's like, it has to be, the only person I could think of is Jack Anthony Holland, who went by Anthony, was her ex from years ago. And I mean years, and I'll tell you in a second. So 1 month later, after this point, she got an email from ahollandkicks@gmail.com, and it was this photo of her husband.
That's already scary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually know this one.
Yeah. So
Drew's like, I remember this
story. So this was that photo. Terrible. It's him getting into his car.
At work, it looks like.
Yeah, not facing, not like... Someone took that. So she's like, what the fuck? And then the email also made a comment about him being a slow driver. So it's like, here's a picture of your husband getting in his car outside of his job, and he drives slow.
That would scare the absolute dog piss out of me.
Right. And she started getting all kinds of dirty ass text messages. And like, they were calling them crude photos.
Why didn't she block it?
Well, hang on.
Was she like holding out just to... Okay, I'll shut up.
No, it's okay. I want to tell you in like 2 cents. So, okay. So she starts getting all from different numbers. So like all kinds of different numbers. Basically, from what I read, it was like a bunch of different dudes. Tons of them. Dick pics, poses, like asking her if she still wants to hook up and all this stuff, because she's smart. So she was like, before she even went to the cops, she comes to them literally with like all this evidence. She said she found an ad online that basically says that Kristil, with her real phone number, says that she wants to sleep with as many different partners as she can for her birthday at the end of November.
I hate so much that women do this that people wouldn't realize that wasn't real.
Like,
what? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
happy birthday to me.
Many women who are like, I want to see how... I've seen this on social media. I want to see how many guys... I want to try to sleep with 100 guys this weekend. Like, legit. Yeah, it's disgusting.
I mean to each their own, but that's...
No, I'm going to say that's disgusting.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Poor thing. Okay, she is... I feel so bad for her.
So not only is all this happening, now she's getting unsolicited dick pics.
Which is literally kind of the worst.
And then yeah. And so then she's like, okay, so someone broke into their garage threatening me, and now I'm getting dick pics, and it went from like, hey, let's hook up to in like 2 months. So Kristil, being the engineer, since that first text, she created what she called a stalker log, And it had exact timelines, her thoughts about it, dates, all that stuff. The detective on her case was basically like, she was not a helpless victim. She was a smart badass and took as much control back from the person who was trying to take control as she could. Now, in this was her timeline of her with her ex as well, Anthony. And because she's like, he has to be doing this. So they met after high school. And remember, this is in 2023. They met after high school in 1999 and dated until her sophomore year of college. They broke up and then 1 year later, she met Dan. So the amount of time is a long time.
Yes.
So Anthony would slide into her DMs and sometimes, and she was like, okay, that's weird. And I'll get to that in a little bit. He said that he was telling her in the messages, he was like, we were like the Notebook. We're always going to end up together. And the first time she was like, okay, no, thank you.
He's probably drunk, having a weird moment, sad, something's going on. When people do that shit, I'm like, you're doing something weird. You're
Nailed it. Yep. And she was like, thanks, but no thanks. You know, hope you have a nice life. And he kept going on, and she kept leaving him on red. And I wrote that on here. Like, basically, it's like he got buzzed up and was like, she's the one that got away.
Yeah. back whenever I was a fucking freshman in college. Like, dude.
Like literally 20 years ago.
Golly.
And like she was like, he's escalating. He's never done anything like that. But then after she blocked him, 7 years, she didn't hear from him. And now he comes out of nowhere again. And he's like, yeah. So he goes from that to 7 years later. You're fat and you should kill yourself because you won't sleep with me. She told her family.
Because you're married with 3 kids.
Right. Like, she told her family as well, like her parents, Lars and Linda, because they had met Anthony, and her sister Jenna, who's also a lawyer. So one's a bioengineer and one's a lawyer. So they all got in on the action on Anthony. Her sister was actually helping her navigate the legal process to get a restraining order against him, because she didn't talk to him. She had to try to do it and all that stuff.
It's hard doing restraining orders.
That's what I've heard. So like, she was
emotional.
She was trying to prep for all that.
Yeah.
She even hired a private investigator to get all the info she could on him once he started coming after her. So she wasn't just like, laying
she was
down.
not playing. She was not like, oh, this is funny, I'll ignore it, I'll keep ignoring it. She was like, I'm gonna fucking address this.
She's like, you're cute, watch this. Yeah. The PI said that he found 2 possible addresses for Anthony, and one was in Utah and one was in Idaho. She takes all of this to the cops, and she's like, okay, here, help me. Like, what can you do? And like I said, I'm jumping around. I want to stop and point out it was 23 years that she dated her ex before she was found dead, by the way. That long of a gap.
I was like, you worded that it was 23 years she was dating her ex before.
Yeah.
They were not together for 23 years.
Right. And then she was
23 years after they dated.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Sorry. Yes. Thanks for clarifying that, because I was like, ooh. Okay. 2 days after her police visit with the stalker log, she got a text, and it says, saw you at the dentist. And basically alluded to the fact that, because she was at the dentist, basically alluded to the fact that he was in the parking lot jacking off while she was getting her teeth done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She called the cops again and was like, he had, like, and they came over and they showed the body cam footage, and they're in the garage where they actually ended up finding her. And she's like, he had to put a tracker on my car. They took the car, they put it up on a lift, they scanned it. However,
the cops did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they scanned it however they do that. And there was nothing. So she's like, what the fuck?
You just be outside your house.
The police took action and were taking her seriously, though. They put undercover officers outside of her house. They followed her around, and they never saw anything suspicious or Anthony. The police had to get their ducks in a row, because obviously at this point, even when I was writing it, I'm like, or reading about it too, I'm like, what? Why are they not going after this guy?
Right. Real quick. Were they like and because you saw it, so you're going to be able to, like, was he doing this like every week?
This was a lot. Yeah, it was.
So like, how they didn't see anything, I call bullshit. Then you weren't looking, and they were fucking playing solitaire on their phone or on, Plenty of Fish or some shit.
Plenty of Fish.
What? Like, then something was going on.
Yeah.
If he was texting her this shit, then there had to be some way. Mm-hmm. And they're also, depending on her street.
And she lived in a suburb.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all he had to do was be parked further down on a street where he could see her car whenever she passed. Like, there's easier ways. Like, it's not that hard to stalk. So I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
for them to act like they didn't see anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
Were they there on a Tuesday and that wasn't his hot day because he was at work? I don't know.
I don't think he did it. He didn't do it every day,
That's
but
what
he
I'm
did
saying.
a shit ton.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
like, how is something not seen?
Oh, yeah. So the police had to get their ducks in a row before they let Anthony knew they were onto him. They had to go and get a digital search warrant because, again, 2023, but it still takes time. So several days to get the warrant to them, and then they have to wait for the results from the companies. In mid-November, they were submitted to Google, TextNow, and Verizon. And during the Google submission, there was like a typo, so they had to resubmit it. So that was December 6th. And in the meantime, she was still being threatened. She got texts saying they belong together. One of them said, quote, "I'll get rid of him so we can be together." So easy. So now they're coming after him.
Which is 100% where I would think you would go.
Yeah.
Like, personally, if I was trying to have someone, in my psychosis, would go after the person that they were with, that I deemed to be the one who stole them from me.
Right.
Not them.
Yeah. So the stalker knows where Dan works, and he even starts describing the security guard at the front office. So, and they're like, okay. So Dan's freaking out even worse. And I watched the interview, and like I said, last time, like, his voice gets on my nerves. And I think, and right after I wrote this, I was reading, and I saw a quote that the lead investigator was like, "I don't mean to be rude, but at this point where they were, Kristil could hold her own more than her own husband. Like, he seems more meek than she does. Like, she's pissed, and he's like, and scared, and he's just acting scared. And
What a pussy.
They're kind of like,
I am so, the fuck?
Yeah.
You're telling me that some dude is stalking me and my husband's over here cowering in the fucking corner?
He's like,
that
yeah.
I married the wrong man.
He said something like, "I feel like I'm doing a horrible job of protecting my wife." And,
Yeah, because you're not even trying.
And I'm like, you kind of are.
Yeah.
So, like,
at least,
he seemed like a dainty flower.
His first feeling, personally, should be rage and anger, which should then have some gas thrown on it so that he can go find this motherfucker.
Right.
I don't know, man.
You and I even get mad when someone messes with the other one.
Always. That's always the case. When people fuck with my husband or they fuck with you, I am 10 million times more pissed than I am when somebody fucks with me directly.
Yeah, and then you're like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, I'm gonna kill him. You're like, it's fine.
It's
like,
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, but if you want to kill him, you know what I mean? Like, it's it just. But I once more, I live in Kentucky. I have a very traditional viewpoint on like male versus female, and like the man should be kind of the one pushing this one forward to be like, okay, what my husband would do is sit on my front step with a gun.
See,
every single day, tracking every single vehicle that came by, and then he would run every plate of every fucking person that came by, and then he would be like, all right, it's a 2022 RAV4. It's gray. Yeah. I know which one it is, and then he would stand in the middle of the street.
Agree.
But I'm just bummed out that this dude didn't that he was so worried about himself.
Oh, when I finish this and you go back and watch the Dateline, I'm gonna
get more mad.
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't sound constant the way I'm telling it, but the texts were coming quite a bit, and it escalated over the 6 weeks. And one of them was she got a text that said, "I see you flirting with waiters. You're desperate," and like shit like that. So like she's trying to live.
So he's everywhere she is.
She's trying to live her life. Basically, someone constantly knowing your every move, threatening your husband, and also she's a mom.
Yeah.
So like her kids are younger too.
Another reason,
so,
like, why is the husband over here like, fucking protect the castle, bitch.
That's
fucking
what I say.
Protect the castle.
I say that when the dogs bark. I'm like, protect the castle. Just kidding.
Always.
You're being annoying. Get inside. Right. Okay. So they took every precaution they could. They installed cameras outside, almost covering the entire perimeter of their house. They had dash cams in their car and everything.
Wow.
And on the dash cam footage, I saw part of this. In Kristil's car before her murder, you can physically see the toll it was taking on her. From that photo I showed you to then, she was breaking down.
There's no way not to.
Yeah.
There's no way not to.
She was so strong and brave, and she was doing everything right, and nothing seemed to matter. So you could see her emotional deterioration. Dan goes to the cops too, and he's like, all right, and he reports all this stuff. They show him, I watched part of the video, he's talking about his anxiety. He's like, this is the part that I'm telling you, it's just because I saw him stand up and he's just lanky and I just think I could beat his ass. Anyway, he carries pepper spray and a steel baton. And the way that he words all this stuff, okay, and I hate to
protect your young children and your wife with that pepper spray.
But this is how he describes it. And he goes,
oh my God.
He goes, I have gel pepper spray. I have a retractable steel baton that I carry with me. And that's exactly how he sounds. Like me.
I want to bash my own head into the wall.
So
I don't know the gun laws there. That's my first thought is I'm like, if this was the case and I was being stalked, obviously once more, we live in Kentucky, military parents, hunter husband, guns.
Right.
And that is just once more where I grew up in my life journey. So I understand other listeners in other states will be like, what the fuck? I don't know the gun laws there.
Right.
But just thinking about our friend from Kelly.
Yeah.
Sutliff. Like,
right.
Protective dog.
In New Jersey, yeah.
Yes. And her dog just passed away.
I know.
We both saw that. So sending you love, Kelly. We love you.
Okay. Well, now that you mention it, the detective on this case was also a badass, by the way. Like
Good.
the lead investigator.
I hope all
he
of them
talked
are.
to he was in it and invested, like, we're gonna figure this out. You're scared, and like took his job seriously, thank God. He talked to Kristil some way every day. She would tell him what she was doing, where she was going, because by November she barely left the house. And that's why I was like, she got a gun and carried it all the time. She went and she even got a purse. Like, and when I say at all times, she had a conceal and carry permit. She went and learned how to use it. But her mom went with her and she was crying because she was like, I can't believe it had to come to this.
Agreed.
And then so she's in her house, scared to leave. She wears a conceal and carry purse on her person in her home.
That's so sad.
I know. Like, and so
Poor
the cops,
thing, and she did nothing wrong.
No, just living. And they posted police officers on Thanksgiving outside of her home so her family could come visit her because they were worried about her mental health. So they posted unmarked police officers and marked police officers outside. And even then at her family dinner, her sister said she would sit by it facing the door. She was wearing her gun, like she was still like there, but it was tense. It's like
PTSD, damn near.
the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Like you can't sit and have mashed potatoes and talk to your cousins and stuff because you think someone's going to kill everybody. Her whole family was affected by this, by the way, because it took me a second to even think about that. Because like you think about the kids, her sister or one of her cousins was a domestic violence attorney, and she was like,
what bloodline is she
I know,
from?
it's stellar. It's a stellar.
Golly,
And
I want that brain knowledge family tree. Fuck.
Brain knowledge family tree.
Golly.
But so her cousin's like, look, I know you're trying to be private and, keep things close to the vest, but you have to, since this is getting out of hand, you need to tell the parents of your kids' friends. You need to tell the school. You need to tell people that your ex is stalking you because they could get one of your kids or something. So people need to be vigilant. Well, that affected them poorly as well because if you're a kid and the mom calls you and says, I'm being stalked.
They're not hanging out with that kid anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let you hang out with Aiden anymore. Like, Aiden's mom is getting stalked right now. You are not going to get into the crosshairs there. Of course.
Yeah. And
not to mention, you're stuck putting, I hate putting private shit out there
and
when you're in that
too.
situation,
And she was like, I have
tell
to
people that.
Yeah, and she did. And her daughter had to get withdrawn from a couple recitals, and her daughter was very passionate about dancing, and it was bad. Okay, so now we're back up to December 14th. That was the day that 43-year-old Kristil was found.
Ugh.
The camera footage by the garage, it showed Dan. He drives their oldest kid to the bus stop because they're not walking. Someone's stalking the family. He comes back home. It was right before 7 a.m. Kristil left to take the two younger kids to school, and she got home right before 8. At 8:24 a.m., Dan left for work, and he works 30 minutes away, so he has to be there by 9, so that's normal. 8:56, Kristil texted Dan and asked him to pick up their kid after school because she had a meeting with the lead detective to update on everything. 20 minutes later, Dan responded, sure thing, FYI, I forgot my chicken on the counter. Please put it in the fridge. Normal husband and wife stuff.
Very normal.
Yeah. She didn't respond, so he called, and she didn't pick up, and he's like, okay, I guess she's busy. For 3 hours, he was like, okay, this is weird because she's at home. 12:01 p.m., he called the cops, and he was like, I don't know if this is an emergency, but I'm nervous, and I'm 30 minutes away. Can you please go check on my wife? He called her mom, Linda, and she lives 15 minutes away. And he's like, can you go check on her? So the officer was there doing a welfare check when her mom, Linda, got there. And he had already seen Kristil, and he ran around the house, the officer, the one that was whistling initially. He'd kicked in the front door, and he was trying to give her CPR. And right when he had hit the door open and called it in, that's when her mom walked up.
Oh, fuck.
And he was like, man, please say what. Like, he was trying to keep her out of it because she said, that's my child. So it is awful. She had been...
It's a crime scene.
Yeah.
It just sucks. There's just no
He was trying to save her, but it was too late already. And he had to open the garage door, and he obviously didn't know. You know, it's so sad.
I don't know. I wouldn't have opened that garage door until I heard the sirens. Because that means anyone walking by.
He said that they would...
Maybe need a light. I don't know. I'm not here for it. Like, I'm not here to...
Yeah. He said I had to because of the EMTs, because he was torn up about it, too.
I'm sure.
He said that I knew the EMTs would be there in 2 minutes, so I wanted to try to... I didn't want to
They wanted them to see where it was.
Yeah.
It was easier for them to know which house. I get it. It's just like,
Yeah. She had been... Okay, so Kristil had been attacked getting into or out of her car because her purse was on the floor, and it was the one with the gun in it.
Oh, fuck.
So she didn't have a chance. She didn't even have a chance to defend herself. She was ambushed. She had blunt force trauma to her head and a stab wound right in the chest. But she was gone. Dan got there from work, and I watched the video. And Dan, because it's body cam, and he collapsed. He was wailing like, my wife is dead. Like, he pulled up and like
how terrifying.
Fell.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
They finally...
That 30-minute drive home from work. Uh-huh. Imagine that 30 minutes.
Longest of your life.
Oh.
Yeah. So where the fuck is her ex, right? They finally go get Anthony.
Real quick. So they never filed that restraining order?
They didn't have all the information yet. She didn't think she had all the information yet to do
call
that.
the biggest pile of bullshit. Well, firstly, what is a restraining order? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
A restraining order is a piece of fucking paper that says, essentially, that I can call the cops and say that this person shouldn't be here. And they can get in trouble. And they can get arrested for it. Mm-hmm. That is it.
Yeah.
Does a restraining order, does a piece of paper stop them from walking into your house? Does it stop them from stalking you?
Right.
Does it stop them from... all it essentially could do is, I love to go to La Creme coffee shop, and they walk in, I can ask them to leave because I was already in the space. But at the end of the day, a restraining order doesn't do anything. But a restraining order, it's a lot of effort from the person. It's an awkward and uncomfortable thing to do, and you have to go to court and then face the person and say you want a restraining order, and it just sucks.
And keep in mind, this was only this all escalated within a few months. So
But that's what I'm saying, months.
So I mean,
you can do it within days.
Yeah.
So essentially, if there's any form of threat from a person, you can go. So there's not a need for that much evidence.
Got it.
Now, I mean, yes, there is, because they can deny it. But if you went through all of that, because most victims don't even want to, because it means you have to go to court and see the person. That's the hard part.
It doesn't sound like an easy process far as for the person.
Right.
Especially being a very private, I'm going to try to protect my kids.
Yes.
Thing.
The victim, but still doesn't do anything. The fact, though, that they never brought him in and questioned him so that the cops would then... Usually what the cops will do is they'll call. Mm-hmm. And so they'll do that thing where they'll be like, hey, Anthony, we heard that you're following Heather. We want you to stop. If you do not stop, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
And that usually will scare him enough.
Yeah.
The fact that they never even brought him in really pisses me off.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of things piss me off.
It's hard to wrap your head around. Even they asked the guy on Dateline, it wasn't my boyfriend, it was another one. He asked the lead investigator, like, well, why didn't you go get him? And he said, my fear was that we wouldn't be able to catch him enough to legally get him, because if they tipped him off, he could be like, no, talk to my lawyer.
Why were they not watching him the whole time? Like, why watch her? Mm-hmm. If you're certain it's Anthony, be outside Anthony's house and follow Anthony. You have his name. It's not a random person that you don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like that was done right.
I know. That's what his sister and his family, his sister, even after she found, like, the same day, because they obviously questioned the family, and I'll get to that, but, like, she was like, she was crying, saying, like, why wasn't there anything done earlier?
Why weren't you watching him?
Right.
If you thought it was him, watch him.
Yeah.
It's always the same thing, right? Women going on a run at night. and being attacked. And they're like, well, she shouldn't have been running at night.
Oh, yeah.
Why the fuck are you watching her?
Yep.
Watch him.
Exactly.
At least to confirm it was him.
No shit.
I don't even know what the fuck digital footprints are. I'm getting mad. Okay, carry on. Carry on.
Okay, so now they finally go after Anthony, which again, I said it's been debated why they waited. They said they wanted to make sure. We just went over that. But, okay, so the cops go back, and they're like, where the fuck are my warrant results from these companies that they've still been waiting on? Like, because that's what they said that they were waiting on, was they wanted to figure out, like, where and confirm, like, piece the puzzle together so they could just literally go get him and take him. But now they call back and they're like, somebody's dead. Give me my stuff from the companies, because they were waiting on them. So
once more, they didn't have to arrest him.
Agreed.
They just had to scare him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And say, we are watching, you stupid piece of shit.
Right. Now, they say, they finally say, fuck it, like you were saying, and they go get Anthony Holland. Now, the ex. Here's a picture of Anthony.
He's very unattractive, which is going to pop up on the screen. Unless that looks like your brother or your husband, and then he's super cute. But he looks sweaty and like he might smell like cheese.
Yeah. Okay, so the two addresses that they had for Anthony were 500 miles away in Idaho and Utah. So they're like, there's no way he's home. He couldn't have made it, because this is the same day. So, like, they were like, okay, we're going to go after him. They just found Kristil. They're questioning the family. They're like, where the fuck is this guy? He's out there somewhere.
I'm going to hallucinate if it's not Anthony.
Yeah, so.
If you're like, oh, it was never Anthony. It's this guy named Bob. Who's random and just liked her and saw her at.
The dentist.
It is Anthony, yes.
The dentist. Yes.
Okay. I was like, are you about to bring in a new character?
So they put out a bolo for be on the lookout for Anthony's partial license plate, and they found it in Utah, and it was at his place, one of the two addresses. They had a warrant for the stalking charges at this point, so they got that part, and they go up and they knock on the door, and he's like, hey, it's like, my name's Anthony Holland. And the cop goes back and he's like, hey, I got him. He's at his place, blah, blah, blah. And he calls back. And while he's up there, Anthony invites the other people into his place. He's like, you guys don't stand out here. You can come in. The cop's like, hey, and I listened to this interview. He's like, hey, do you know Kristil Krug? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's my ex from 1999. And she was my first girlfriend and my first love and the one that got away. And Anthony was like, why are you asking me this? And he had an alibi. He went shopping. He had the receipts. All of that checked out. So there's no way he was physically in Colorado, 500 miles away, killing Kristil.
Are you fucking me in my ass right now?
No.
Pull it right out of my ass.
No, but I did lie to you and tell you it was him. Okay, so.
Oh my God.
See, now you know why I was like, don't go through my pictures. Okay.
So I didn't know anyone, so it wouldn't have mattered. You could have had a dick in there. I don't know whose dick it was. Oh
it's
my
prosthetic.
gosh.
Okay, so.
I'm about to pee myself. I literally just got an intense urge to pee. Oh my God. You just tantalized the fuck out of me.
Okay, so Anthony, but who was it?
Oh my, I want to know.
Because again, this was 23 years after they broke up. Kristil was successful at the time, and Anthony, they were going different paths, is what their parents said. They were like, they had different goals in life. They met when they were 17 and 18. So like,
you don't have to explain to me why anyone broke up that was dating at 17.
But Anthony, he had dropped out of school, he got into drugs, and
it shows.
Yeah, he worked and made money, but he was paying for his habit, and he said, I was just wild. He said he thought about her all the time, but he used it as motivation to turn his life around, like, in the meantime. So
cute, I guess.
So one day he was like, yeah, it's still like, he said,
I mean, weird, but like, isn't that what we saw in every fucking 90s rom-com movie?
Yep.
Like, someone being motivated by the hot guy in school, like.
Yeah, instead of getting a revenge body, he got off drugs and kept working, and he went back to school for a little bit, but he got clean.
Good for him. So I don't hate him?
You'll see. So.
Oh my God. You're making my stomach cramp.
I have that effect on people.
You do.
Okay.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic imploring your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Does your face look like a mugshot lately?
Then it is officially time for you to visit Hetef Aesthetics in Owensboro, Kentucky or Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right. Go see our girl Amber Teasley and her team because they'll have your face and your skin look like a damn filter.
And their staff is absolutely amazing. It's like a mini Botox party, which personally is my favorite. You leave looking fresher and you don't have a hangover.
Another good thing is that if you go in there and you tell them that A Couple of Sassholes sent you, you get 15% off of everything.
That's unbelievable. So if you have been considering getting that glow up and making that ex jealous, it's time.
So Anthony had dated other women, but he was like nothing ever added up to Kristil.
Oh my.
She got her hooks in him. Remember, he said like they became. So he was like, look, in 2016 we became Facebook friends. So they broke up. He had tried to reach out to her in 2004. Nothing happened. Then all these years passed. 2016, he adds her on Facebook. She accepts. So the DMs kind of started.
Okay.
So there was a 7-year gap of no contact between him when he was sending those weird inbox messages, right?
When he was on drugs, missing her?
Yeah. No, like, because here's the thing. Because when she said thanks, no thanks, and he was like, oh, you're the one that got away, and he got drunk, and she was like, no, but she blocked him then.
Okay, heard.
Yeah, so then she was like, he hasn't talked to me since then, and then all of a sudden he's telling her
he created a new Facebook page, I guess.
Right.
Because if she blocked him.
Well, so all that, like, stuff happened before. He's like, oh, I miss you, I love all that stuff. She blocks him.
Right.
He gets clean. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if he Facebook friend requested her later on,
either
that was a new profile.
But what I'm saying is he stopped like he had that Facebook. I'm trying to make the timeline. So when she said he had talked to her and she blocked him, he didn't talk to her again until the stalker messages came back.
Right.
So, but he was getting his life right at that
I understand
time.
that, but what I'm saying is if she blocked him on Facebook, you said he Facebook friend requested her and she accepted, and then he started messaging her. Right?
I'm talking about the time when I was talking about earlier. Remember when I said he slid into her DMs and all that stuff? This was in 2016. And there was a 7-year gap. So the time,
I understand, sister. Yeah. I don't think you're hearing me. So I'm gonna try really hard to explain this again. Okay. So you just in 2006 he said that stuff, whatever, and he was being drunk, whatever, sending whatever messages, and she blocked him.
No, back then Facebook wasn't a thing. Then that's when he was calling her, and she.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I thought all of that was through Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, he had called her,
and Facebook was a thing in 2006, my love.
Oh,
100%.
I didn't join it until 2011. So 2016.
2011?
Mm-hmm.
I graduated high school in 2006.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, I'm like, you didn't have Facebook through college?
I did.
Okay.
So I just lied on accident.
No, I'm like, dude, for sure. I had it. Yeah, as soon as I went to college. Okay. Just make sure.
So he calls
either
her,
way,
blocks her. Then he's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna slide into her DM. She's like, no, thank you. Have a good life. Whatever. Blocks him again.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but he called her a long time ago.
Got it.
Right.
Who cares the
either
device?
way? There was a 7-year gap. So he slides into her DM, says I fucked up. When he gets drunk, she blocks him. I'm telling you the timeline. Then so then she blocks him out of nowhere.
Out of just sheer luck.
7 years later, he comes back and he was like, I'm coming to Boulder. Let's hook up. And all the stalking stuff started from Anthony after all these 7 years.
Right.
So
was that actually him saying, do you want to hook up? I'm in the area.
I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
So
well, because then it sounds like hook up could have meant like meet up and not as like pervy.
Right. Like, do you want to grab a coffee? And
yes. And the answer is still the fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm married. I'm not going to. No.
Okay. So Anthony's like, no, I haven't talked to her in 7 years. I didn't have a way to talk to her. So I gave up. He's like, I didn't have her new phone number. I had my one shot and she blocked me on there. I haven't talked to her. And he's like, they're like, do you know Dan Krug? He's like, I don't know who that is. I don't know where she lives now. Like no. But they never told him when they went there. They Mirandized him, but they didn't tell him that she had been killed.
So one more time, let's all just acknowledge. if they would have gone to him and said anything at all, talked to him in any true capacity, in any fucking way, they would have realized it wasn't him.
They could have just called him.
Yes.
So
stupid.
Yeah. So, so think about it from Anthony's perspective right now, but he's still a suspect. So just because he didn't physically do it. Anyway, so they don't tell him that she's been killed. And they decided at that point, they're like, we can't arrest him.
Well, no shit.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, he didn't even know that she was dead, and they never told him, and he didn't do it. So in stalking cases, obviously it's common that they don't have somebody go kill someone for them. They want the control, like
100%.
They want,
yeah, that's not a hire.
Yeah, like, but they had to. They're back to square one because they have to triple check and make sure. Because who the fuck is doing this?
They're not back to square one. They never got out of square one because they're fucking stupid. They should have called. I don't know if I'm crazy, but like I feel like that's literally the first thing that happens when you bring it to the police department.
They should call.
They call. Mm-hmm. It's not even that they like. I went through a stalking case.
Yeah.
When I was like 21, 22, and they call and tell them to stop, to scare them, to make them realize that they've gotten to the level of the police are involved, and that usually for a non-psychopath, well, if you stalk somebody, you're already a few shy of the full crowns in the box, right? Like there's obviously something going on that you're going to stalk somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm just like. Police contact usually, or at least kind of freaks them out a bit or makes them better at their job. I don't know.
Shoot them a letter, give them a voicemail, something. Either way, I agree.
Yeah.
So like they're back to, okay, who then? At the police station.
I'm so annoyed.
This is all still within the same day. So at the police station, they split up Kristil's family. Her stepsister, the lawyer Jenna, and then Dan, and then her parents are all split up in separate rooms.
So then they attack the family. Perfect. Okay, carry on. I'm annoyed.
Okay, and like I said earlier, the family's upset because they feel like they should have done more. They took Dan, of course. They go to the husband first. They take Dan next in to rule him out because duh, he's crying so hard. Again, saying he was supposed to protect her. He's hyperventilating. He's a mess.
My hand's up.
Okay.
Because then I realized you weren't going to notice it.
Okay.
And our viewers could see that it was up. When did they look at the cameras?
The cameras at the house?
Yeah.
I'll get there. That's a valid question.
I just feel like that would have been absolutely step one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before anything else, I would have been like, may we log in? Yeah. While he's crying, just be like, give me the login, Dan. Give me the login. Where's the home laptop?
Right. Yep.
Oh my God, I'm gonna fist fight.
It's funny because you're like right on the way. You're like you're getting there. Okay, so
or you're getting there. You're cruising for a bruising is what you're doing.
Okay, so sad. He's distraught. Blah blah blah, and he's also trying to help, like trying to tell him anything he can, as he should. There's a live feed camera in his interrogation room. So when they're getting all the information back, they've already called Google, Text Now, and Verizon. And they're like, okay, she's dead. Give us our stuff. So they start getting all this information immediately, which is a bummer because they couldn't do that in the first fucking place because who knows what would have happened.
The person would have been caught.
Yeah.
If they, I'd like to answer that for 200. They would have been caught.
Right. And the data shows the stalker was not in Utah at Anthony's. And they're like, what? So their jaws dropped when it showed that these messages were sent from the same Wi-Fi network as Dan's office.
I'm out.
Are you leaving? Wait, I'm not done.
For a second, I was like, it's the fucking.
But is
beam.
it because I still got paid? I got.
I don't know, Heather. I'm gonna be quiet, but I am riled up.
Okay, God. So the email that photo came from and the phone number, the main one, not all the dick pics, was from Dan's work, and Dan had been putting on this big to do, and they're like, "Is it Dan?" So.
Hand me your papers. Let me skim through.
So they don't tell him, of course, right off the bat. They're in the room anyway, and they're like, we're just going to see how this plays out because they don't know. And he's still in there saying, did you get Anthony? Like, why haven't you gotten Anthony? They ease into it. And they're like, well, we talked to Anthony, Dan, and there's no way. And he goes from leaning forward and upset, and then his energy changes. On the video, he like leans back, and he is a string bean. So like he leans back, he crosses his arms, his energy changes, and now he's like scared. He's physically scared for his life because he's like, you don't know where he is, blah, blah, blah. And they're like...
Or you don't know who it is.
They start showing their cards one at a time. Ugh. Just to see how he reacts. So the email and the phone number connected to his Wi-Fi at his office. He was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Did they use the public Wi-Fi? It's posted in every meeting room, so you can walk up to the window and see it. And remember the photo of him getting into his car. That was taken in selfie mode on a timer. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to steamroll you. So he goes from being very helpful and withdrawn to getting annoyed. He doesn't yell. He doesn't get mad. He's more annoyed. He's sitting there with his arms crossed in a creepy, quiet voice. And all he says is, you have your theory, and it is wrong. And then he said, I think this is the part where I'm supposed to ask for a lawyer. They took his clothes, but he wasn't arrested. And they let him leave because they don't have enough for the murder yet. And when he walked out, he said, and I quote, I don't care if you capture him. I don't care if you kill him. Find him. And he said it just like that.
Get that off a fucking
I know
movie?
Yeah.
What are you, George fucking Clooney?
I know. Like, he thinks he's Iron Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then he walks out and he goes back with her family, and they're like all like, oh my God. Like,
so does the fam bam know?
Are you reading my papers? Wifey? Okay. None of his family knew he was the suspect. That was literally my next sentence.
Because I'm like, I don't think that Mona and Dwayne Maple would be like, come on back, Trav.
Yeah. So he went back to their house, and they were all there. You know, they were consoling him. And his sister Jenna, or her stepsister Jenna, hugged him and, you know, said, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry you lost your fucking best friend, your sister, he goes, I need your help finding an attorney, because she's an attorney. And he was like, she's like, what? And he's like, it's always the husband. And then he's like, what? It's horrible timing.
Why would you say that?
Yeah. And
when everyone thinks it's the stalker.
And then she's like, you're not even crying tears. And then her lawyer brain kicks in, and she's like, we all love, what is happening? So they all knew that the husband is always looked at. So then they were like, okay, well, let's dive in a little bit, and we got to rule him out. They're always the first one, so let's rule him out. The family was like, but it's Dan. But they dug a little deeper, and their marriage had been on the rocks for a little bit. In the other meeting rooms where they were talking to her family, her mom, Linda, was like, I mean, Dan and Kristil weren't on good terms, according to her. I only knew what she told me, but like, I don't think he could do anything like this. No. And then
this is torture.
They weren't
like, you have to like stop. Like, she was tortured. Mm-hmm. She was psychologically tortured.
Right. They weren't as connected. They were all, and it was just in 2023 it had gotten really bad. Like that year that she was killed, their marriage had been bad. But she was like, I don't think he did it. I just think it's a timeline. Yeah,
that's not too long.
Yeah, and all that. And his mom was like, well, Dan always had to be in charge. The dad was like, he had to make sure that he was the smartest one in the room, and you could tell, watch the episode. And he was very cocky and arrogant in the way, and dramatic in the way that he said everything. And Kristil told her parents at first, she was like, yeah, we're going to stay together. The youngest child was under 10, and we want her to grow up a little bit more. Her or he, they didn't even name the children, thank goodness. Good. But like, then a little bit later, she's like, I can't do it. I can't stand him. I can't do it. She's
Kristil?
Like, yeah, Kristil. Kristil was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't wait. I'm not waiting. So on top of basically not liking her husband at all, she's being stalked. In hindsight, her family said that Dan wasn't taking the stalking seriously at all. He said she was overwhelmed. She was blowing it out of proportion. But on the body cam footage, he's scared. Like, he's like, I'm worried, like, and when he went in there to report that he had a picture taken of him, all that stuff, right? So he was a concerned husband on camera. And anyway, okay, after looking back at the body cam footage, when they told Dan that Kristil was dead, he was wailing, blah, blah, blah. He didn't have any tears at all. It was audible. Even that day, his sister Jenna hugged her stepmom after that, and she's like, did Dan do this? Like, because she's a defense lawyer, so.
Can I just say, I won't say a lot.
I was like,
but I just have to say, if anyone knew that their relationship wasn't doing well, then like, what an asshole you are for not mentioning that earlier. I love the way you've told this story. I've really, like, this is a well-read book, because you just dropped a bomb, though I didn't see the whole other time. But I would have at some point thought truly that it was Dan if I would have realized they weren't doing well and she wanted to go.
I think it's because they had been together for so long. We'll unpack it.
I'm just like...
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just surprised the family at some point didn't... Or, you know what? I say that, though, but what did we always talk about? It's the books we read.
Right. It's hindsight for them. Her mom was like...
Now.
And her mom's in there. She finds out her daughter got murdered. And then she's like, well, I mean, they weren't doing bad, but he couldn't have done it.
Right.
So this is all hindsight. So, like, when you...
Right, but in it...
In it,
because of the fucking books we read, the crazy crime thrillers.
Right.
Because of that, I would have automatically, thought I would have at least put Dan on the list, but he wasn't on the list before.
Yeah, and he hadn't been on it. They just thought he's like a cocky, just arrogant, and they were like, and she was such a badass. They just trusted that she would figure that out too. You know what I'm saying? So,
that she would be like, it could have been Dan.
He's like,
because his demeanor in any of there had to. Yeah, you're right. Internally, she would have had to have been like.
So then she'd
weirdly,
be like,
this could have been my husband.
Yeah, and
you're
so
right.
she didn't think that. She thought it was her ex.
Crazy.
So yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. And it where am I at? What do you do? Okay. So why? Apparently Dan had been trying, this is me hindsight telling, not them being like, oh, so just so you know. Apparently Dan had been trying to control badass Kristil, and she's like, you're a little bitch, baby. Absolutely not. And then Dan's like, well, I have to get control back. So by generating fear. So then to scare her into, this is going to sound like a crazy theory, but I'm going to tell it to you. So then to scare her into staying with him, bring her closer to him and all that. But it actually backfired because Kristil is a badass. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm divorcing you because she's getting stalked. Her husband's telling her she's crazy, basically. And she's like, she already didn't like him in the first place. And now he's gaslighting her into thinking she's nuts for reacting this way to someone doing this to her.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
her family. But anyway, so he also knew before she died that time was running out because the cops were going to eventually figure it out. It's 2023. They're eventually going to figure out it was him because they had put the request in for the digital evidence. So he knew that would take a little time. The burner phone that was sent the text from quote unquote Anthony was bought locally with a gift card that was registered to Dan Krug in the same town with a gift card that was registered to Dan.
I wonder if he didn't think it. So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be quiet.
There's some times where you'll see like, oh, he thinks he's too smart, but he's actually kind of stupid.
No, all of that's absolutely the dumbest thing ever. Cash.
Right, yeah.
If you do anything illegal, you do it in cash.
Not a gift card and put your fucking name on it. Okay, so Dan built this scheme, and he was ready for poor Anthony to take the fall for everything. And the camera footage outside was reviewed, like you asked about. And guess which one was covered with blue painter's tape? The front door. The same tape that they found in the drawer in their kitchen. Okay, 4 cameras covered the perimeter of the house. The day that Kristil was killed, the only one that was on and recording was the one outside of the garage, facing the road where the driveway. So the video was of Dan leaving at 8:30. So there's his alibi. He'd gotten a text after he'd left from her phone. He had got to work on time. Like, what the hell? So this asshole, during his interrogation, before they said anything, he handed them the evidence that they needed when he was being interviewed the day that they had found her. They said, hey, can we see your phone? And he's like, sure, because, you know, he's smarter than everyone else. And even smart criminals fuck up. All of them do. So on his phone, from the day before, Dan had searched, you know, in incognito mode.
Yes.
On Google. He had searched on his Google app, and this is not all, but these are the ones I picked. Head trauma, How hard do you have to hit someone to be unconscious? How long does someone have to be unconscious to become brain dead? But he's in incognito mode, so nobody knows. Right? Anyway, he's a fucking idiot. He thought it was invisible, so he was like, it's fine. He never said this, but the cops are like, obviously, you're a fucking idiot. So they go to get him. The same officer who found Kristil deceased. So they because they had to let him go, but they compounded all this. So Dan leaves the police station this day, and they're like, now we can get him. So same day, they go to get him. The same officer who found Kristil deceased in the garage and tried to revive her was the same one who pulled him over. That happened to be the same one. And he was on his way to his daughter's dance recital and got arrested for his wife's murder. The
daughter was going to her dance recital right after her mom was brutally murdered in their garage.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. They said it could have been for dramatic effect, but that's what I read that he was.
Oh my God, I'm over here like, did they ever tell the kids yet?
See, I don't know that either. Maybe
my
not.
first question is they didn't tell the kids.
Maybe not. Maybe they were like, let her get through this and.
Yeah, she's been working months on the.
Yeah, because dance was so big in their lives.
And like, fucking telling your kids that your mom's dead.
So her family, they're floored and then they're hurt because he literally fooled everyone. The fact, and I want to reiterate this, he literally called her own mother knowing that she was dead and said, I need you to go check on her. So that was evil as fuck. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad that the last few months of her life were so miserable.
Right.
And she was so terrified. She was anxious. She was being harassed. And it's all from her freaking husband and the father of her 3 children, and then gaslighting her during all of this. In the spring of 2025, not even a year ago, Dan pled not guilty and went to court.
He pled not guilty.
And then the case blew wide open. They didn't have the physical evidence that normally you would have, but it only takes one person out of 12 on a jury, as we know, to throw the whole verdict. So I'm showing a photo. So
I swear, if you make me mad.
No. So I want to show you, because you saw a picture of him when they got together.
Yeah.
And that was a recent photo, right?
Yeah.
This is what he looked like 2 years later. I
never swiped this far.
Okay, cool.
Just so you know,
don't swipe at all. Okay, so he's now got fully gray hair. He's aged probably, you know how they say like when the presidents get in there and they get out, they always compare how stressed they are. You can tell he looks haggard.
He looks very...
Yeah.
What a fuckwad.
Yeah.
He's getting so much dick in the ass, man. Hopefully.
With that little baby voice. We'll see. Okay, so and I have the mugshot photo too. That's what I was going to show you.
I was like, why are you grabbing your phone? I thought you were done with photos.
No, because you just tried to edit that photo.
Oops.
Okay, this is his mugshot from when they arrested him.
This looks like a mugshot.
Flip back and forth. You can flip back and forth, though.
Number one, I just want you to know that this mugshot looks like a guy who definitely was a money launderer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's nothing is screaming more like money launderer.
Yeah.
Or like, and he did it through like a strip club.
Yeah, he's got a weak chin. Like, his chin looks like
if he very
sneezed,
weak chin.
He
looks bad in bed, too.
Oh, yeah. So...
Poor, she could have aimed a little higher,
right?
But we'll let it
go. Okay. Anyway, so now we saw he aged like a million years in 2.
Yeah.
So that was him that was a photo of him on the stand. That if you guys are watching, you just saw that. And okay, so where is his attorney going to go? His attorney was like, well, she texted him after he was gone. So how did that work? But I didn't even know this until I read this, that you can tell if your phone screen was lit up at the time. So besides the fact that you can schedule text messages now, which he did, but they could prove that it wasn't her sending it, like, because they can tell if your phone screen is lit up at that time that the message went out or not. And her phone was locked. So obviously it was scheduled.
Okay, guys. So what we just learned from you saying that, because this was a 2023 murder.
Yep.
Is if you're texting and driving and you get in a car accident, we already knew that they could timestamp it and confirm that you were texting. I don't know if anyone knew that. But like if you're texting and driving and you get in a car accident and you kill someone, Or if anything happens, they can tell that you were sending a text at the exact time of the accident.
Apparently
they'll be able to tell too if it was unlocked or locked if you were just scrolling.
Yeah, they could see because you just picked your phone up and it lit up when you picked it up so they could tell that her phone screen was dark at that time. Yeah. That's the difference between the murders that we do there in the 1900s, and I'm like, there was a bloody goat running through and now I'm like, her phone screen was black. So
right, so they knew. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even think. I forgot about the text, honestly.
Yeah, so he could. Yeah, so he scheduled that. I'm so mad about this. Dan had ambushed Kristil when she got back from taking her kids to school in the garage. He knew she had a gun. He hit her in the head and she fell. And they said it was most likely that it was so hard that they don't know with what, by the way, but they said she probably would have passed away from just that. It was that bad. But then he flipped her over and stabbed her in the chest.
So he had to look his wife in the eyes.
Yep. The nail in his coffin, though, because
which one? No,
you could
tell
still
me the
prove,
one that really got it.
You could still prove reasonable doubt because they didn't have the DNA. The nail in his coffin, though, was the star witness who came forward after she saw Dan on the news. A woman testified that she dated Dan 20 years earlier for about a year in high school and college. She said after all this time, she was literally terrified of Dan still and asked to remain anonymous. She didn't even show her face on 2020 or on the Dateline. They blared and then they didn't show her in any of the court documents. So anyway, she dumped him in the fall of 2000 and he didn't take it well because she dumped him. She started getting stalked by a number of fake people. Like a bunch who were trying to push her back to Dan. And she said it was like weird and scary. Like literally a slew of people and it was the same pattern. She took out a restraining order on him and they traced it back to Dan. They figured out that they traced it back to where his college was. They could figure out it was on the same Wi-Fi. That's all they could do.
Okay, so you're telling me that the cops, Dan had a restraining order for stalking on his record.
I don't know how that works, but agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it goes on your fucking police report record.
So I didn't even think about that. I don't know how they missed that either. I don't know how they missed it.
If the cops would have just... because they didn't run him.
They didn't look at him. There's no way they could have. Because they would have seen that.
1,000%.
Yeah.
They would... I can't imagine... Yeah, because your fingerprints in the database, all that shit is in the database no matter what state you're in.
But I mean, he didn't get charged with it. Like, she got a restraining order, but he never got charged with the stalking.
Yeah, so but it was on, if you...
The restraining order would be in there? Okay. I didn't know how that worked. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It has to be, right? Like, that's what your police report is. Like, that is what your... Whatever we fucking call that, our rap sheets. Yeah. Our rap sheet would have said that he had a restraining order filed against him for stalking, even if it did not commence.
Dear God, I would hope it would stay on the record for shit
But it
like
just
this.
blows me away that, like, there's no... Like, even if Kristil was so passionate that it was Anthony, and they brought him in, and they never typed his name in...
Because even... Like I said, it's there's shirts that say the husband
There
did
was
it.
a lot
Anyway,
done wrong here.
There
was so much.
Right.
Just like a teeny tiny bit of due diligence from the police department where like, yeah, they took it seriously, but not enough to like stop in the busyness of your day and be like, well, let me just contact Anthony, see if he's ever fucking here.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's 500 miles away and never comes here.
Right.
And then, well, her husband's a part of this. Is there anyone else it could have been? No. Well, let me just ask this very basic question. How's your relationship with your husband? Oh, well, I'm actually thinking about leaving him. Well, maybe I should type his name into the system. Oh, look. He has the restraining order for stalking. And that.
Yep. Oh, we need to zoom in on your face. That was.
Yeah.
So.
Flabbergasted.
So, yes. Oh, agreed. The whole thing. So. Luckily, this anonymous woman survived all that, although she had, like, still to this day has PTSD from it. Because it was all these people. And the weird part, just real quick, it was like, the fake people were all like, you should cherish your friendship with Dan. You should go back to Dan. So, like, all these fake people.
Go back to Dan or I'm going to kill yourself.
Right. Like, yeah, it was crazy stuff. But this brave woman had the balls. You know what? No, had the tits. She had the tits to go and testify for Kristil's case while he was sitting there.
But why would she have had to? If when he was arrested, why did that not show up again?
I know,
right?
I don't know.
So we're like, she's brave. She spoke up. She had already contacted the police about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And filed, like, the restraining order paperwork is so heavy. It's so much effort. Mm-hmm. So if you cannot tell me, and for real, if you know the answer to this, fucking tell me. Like, I'm not saying you can't tell me, but like legit put it in the comments.
Yeah.
And let me know.
Yeah.
But like, if you're saying that a restraining order was filed against somebody, even if they weren't charged with it, how did that not show up when he was arrested?
Yeah, I don't know.
So they wouldn't even have needed her to be brave. They could have just said, this also happened before.
Yeah, but they could have done it without her. But the fact that the impact that it made hearing,
of course,
absolutely. Yeah. So like, but it agreed because you're right. But the fact that she had the tits, I'm not going to say the balls, the tits to get up there in the same room with the guy that gave her PTSD and stand up for this woman she's never met. Because she wasn't as fortunate as her. I just wanted to point that out because
absolutely
she told her whole story and to get Kristil justice, and it worked.
Thank God.
So Dan's attorneys were like, okay, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence. But where's the DNA? They don't have DNA. And then they were like, wait. He said, oh, well, he had a colleague that was struggling with health issues from a head injury, and they had lunch, and he went home and Googled it that day. You don't Google, how are you going to be unconscious?
So how do you explain all of the messages coming through his work?
Right.
Was it also that friend?
Right, exactly.
Like attorneys be attorneying in, you know? Right. They be doing what they do.
The defense lawyers are like, I got to grab that straw.
They be scraping that bullshit up, trying to see how much they can get out of the corners of the fucking room and try to make it happen.
I mean, they're paid to do that, I guess.
Dude, for $500 an hour, I will fucking scrape up that same bullshit and try to give an answer.
And then they did bring up a point. And they said, how come the cops didn't know it was Dan the whole time?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's why when you were saying that, I was like, I'm going to get there. You've actually been 2 steps ahead of me without knowing this whole time.
I try to be.
You usually are. So, okay.
Not in these stories. You always fuck me in my ass, man.
So, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so most time juries deliberate, we're like, a few hours. This was 2 days. Because it was a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And on the third day, in April of 2025, not even a year ago, they found Dan guilty of first-degree murder, stalking, and criminal impersonation, getting life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Good.
Dan is still in prison today.
I would hope it was 5 minutes ago.
In Colorado, claiming his innocence. He's still
I want to know where the weapons are.
He's going down swinging. Now, Kristil's family, they're all smart and brainiacs and stuff and very great people. They're still advocating for something called Kristil's Law to try to speed up the phone and Wi-Fi data access in stalking cases. Because right now the companies are allowed to do it at their own discretion and have their own policies. They want it to do a 48-hour turnaround time. Because who knows, like I said, if they would have known it was 100%, Dan in 2 days.
Yep.
And so they're pushing for that still right now. And
I hate that they're still stuck pushing for that.
Yeah. Like it's 2026 now. So like,
yeah, like this shouldn't be,
and then they were like, they came back to him. Sorry to cut you off, but they came back Googling them. They were like, well, we try to prioritize them, but we can't. We take those seriously. They all gave the PC answers they're supposed to
shove
give.
it right up your fucking culo. And all you need, hire somebody. You're a big ass multi-billion dollar company.
Hire more
You're getting
people.
all of our money.
Right.
Fucking make a department called Saving Fucking Lives.
Right.
And fucking put the money into it.
I know, that's
Take
true.
the money from the fucking CEOs.
Yeah.
Who are over here jizzing all over us with their bullshit. Fucking create a department. Spearhead it with a woman.
Yeah.
Give that job to a woman. And like make some shit happen, man.
Yeah.
I'm not here to hear your bullshit.
I agree. Because I didn't even put in their quotes, but I knew I had to say it because you're already fired up. So I kind of like to throw gas on there when you're like that.
I hate when it's obvious shit. Mm-hmm. So like one fact-finding question. Are you sure it's Anthony? Well, I think it's Anthony. Is there anyone else it could be? No. Next question. What's your relationship like with your husband? Well, I've been talking about leaving him. Heard. Let's look up Dan. Dan. Oh, restraining order for stalking. Heard. Right. Or let's see if this shit was happening from whatever. Pull his phone records in the log into his AT&T. Yeah. Whatever the fuck it is.
Here's the thing about that too, because I agree with you. So I had to think about it from an outside devil's advocate perspective. If he had fooled her, because she didn't think he was.
But like, was she paying that much attention to him? Was he fooling her, or was he a meek little cunt that she was planning to leave? Wasn't scared of because he's a pussy.
Yeah, he is definitely a little bitch baby.
I mean, we say that, but he murdered her. But like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, was she just? He's gaslighting her. He's not believing her. So why was she even paying attention to him?
Right.
So did he really have to act a part and fool her? Or was she so numb to him that they were roommates and she didn't pay attention to him anyway?
I mean, that's valid.
Like, when you're ready to leave your husband, like, dude, you're like, don't give a fuck. I'm not even paying that much attention to you. Right. I hope my stalker kills you.
Right.
Get more money in the divorce. Or not the divorce.
Well, that is the sad story of the murder of Kristil Krug by her piece of shit husband, Dan.
That was a tantalizing. You hold that story in a very, very delicious way. I feel like, minus the fact that I'm actually hungry, I feel like I had a very, very delicious meal of a story. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, I got as much info about Kristil as I could because she just sounds like a badass, and that's the thing. She literally did everything by the book and then some.
It's almost like sorry for interrupting, but it's almost like the cops were trying to do it so by the book that they didn't just stop and be like, wait, let me.
Yeah, and they go into a little bit in detail on the episode about why they didn't. I mean, I feel bad because it's hard to get mad at the detective when they seem so invested on it and stuff. Of course. Flip side, I agree with you, and I was like, just call him.
Here's the biggest thing. Here's the biggest fucking part of it that I'm like, you dumb bitches, is the fact that he was 500 miles away. His residence was.
Both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's the one that brought him the two addresses in the first fucking place and handed it to him.
That's what I'm saying. And it's so...
Yeah. And then they're like, well, what if he hired somebody? No. If he's obsessed with her, why would he have somebody else do it?
It just makes no sense. Like, my first thing would have been like, okay, guys, let's all come to terms with it's not Anthony. Yeah. He's 500 miles away.
Yeah.
All we had to do was call his job and see if he shows up.
Right.
If he's at work Monday through Friday and that photo of stupid fucking Dan came through on a Tuesday and he was at work, it's obviously not him. And then give him a call and be like, hey, and figure that little jizz out. But I'm like, this whole thing, I'm so sorry. And I understand that the cops were invested.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball so hard. Mm-hmm. I can't even be like, good job.
Yeah, I feel like
no.
I feel like by the time we sadly tell the stories like this, a ball had to have been dropped somewhere on all of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, we say that. There's some.
That's true.
We get lucky enough whenever we find them where we're like, the police department rocked it.
That's true.
They crushed it.
It's few and far between.
They did it. Yeah, because then it's not that interesting.
Yeah, I was like, we're not cop bashing, but like, in all honesty, the ball gets dropped somewhere and we just see when it gets dropped.
Yeah.
So,
what do they say? It's like those positions at work where like the particular position just happens to be the one that catches mistakes, and so they see all your mistakes. Right. But if it was anyone else in the company, no one sees the mistakes.
I mean,
it's kind of our fucking storyline, but I think that sucks. But I also, once more,
I'm hoping that Kristil's law gets passed.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. They're pushing for it on a federal level. And
is there a link or anything that we can sign? Do you know by chance?
There's not. I looked and there's not because it hasn't made it all the way up. But her name is spelled Kristil, and her last name is Krug. And it's
we're just gonna have to. You're gonna have to make a note on your phone, on your calendar every month to see where that's at, so we can fucking promote it. And when the petition comes through,
right,
we fucking send that shit out.
And she's got I know that her cousin and her stepsister are pushing for that really hard, as well as her family. So, yeah,
heard. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
It was a tantalizing treat.
Yeah.
Also very sad, but
yeah.
Don't forget, like, rate, review, subscribe. Make sure you do all of those things because that's how you're going to find out about whether or not Kristil Kristil's law gets passed as we continue to watch that, because we will.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Don't forget, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?